Hello, everybody. Today we are going to go live with the Mom Company, and we have Malika Sadani, the CEO of the Mom Company, going to be joining us shortly. And a little bit about the Women Inspiring Network. It's taken shape during lockdown, and now we've had a reach of 10 million people. We've just finished with our films series where we had noted filmmakers and actors talking about career in films. We're soon going to be doing a program for students next week, which is going to focus on women entrepreneurship. We're doing this with Jai Hind College on the 29th of July. We received an overwhelming response for the winning the lockdown videos, 100 videos, capturing positive voices of women. And of course, we did a webinar in April. And now we're going to be joined by Malika of Mom Company. And I'm just going to see where she is. And thank you so much for your response. We're currently doing a sustainability series and mental health stories, which have again had a very, very high reach. So if anyone would like to contribute on mental health, or we've started new segments, which is on beauty, fashion, culture, please feel free to contribute. And I'm just going to see Ishita from my team if she can check where Malika is. So I'm just seeing if Mom Company is there. I've sent her an invite. Ishita from the team will just check where is the Mom Company. And about Malika, she's founder and CEO of the Mom Company, and that's India's first toxin-free brand for babies. And I had met Malika in a Business World workshop, which was again on women entrepreneurship. And, I was telling her how my daughter, who's 4 years old, has, her skin is really dry. And she gave me the solution. And it's worked really well. So she was a banker turned entrepreneur, and she moved back from London, and she could not find a suitable option for her kids, and she decided to start the Mom Company. And I can see the Mom Company has just joined us. So it's a brand which has been brought in. Yes. So Malika is just joining us. Hi, Malika.
Hi. Hi, how
So
are
I
you?
was just telling all our viewers. Yeah. So I was just telling our viewers a bit about the Women Inspiring Network and how it took shape during the lockdown. And we've had a 10 million reach, and it's a community of
That's
women,
lovely.
and we inspire other women entrepreneurs. So we've had actors, media influencers, media personalities, women entrepreneurs, change makers, sustainability activists, all on our platform. April is when we did a webinar where we had 70 speakers. Then we got 100 videos of positive voices of women across India. June, we finished with our film series where we had actors,
Wow, that's a lot of work,
filmmakers
man.
on careers. Yeah. And we partnered with Inox and Business World, and we had a reach of 10 million because we were amplifying our content on their pages. And we're also doing a mental health series. And last week, we of course launched our Founders Friday. And I
Yeah.
was telling our viewers about you, how you moved back from London and started this brand. And we met at the Business World Women Entrepreneurship event, I remember. And you
Yes.
gave me tips for my daughter because her skin is dry. And I have become a big fan of Mom Company. I'm ordering the
Yes.
particular
I
lotion
remember it was
all the
quite,
time.
yeah, I remember it's quite coincidental where you were mentioning what trouble you're facing with your daughter. And it seems your husband had just visited the doctor the
Yes.
same day. And we had the same
Yes.
conversation. And then I said, you must try the lotion, which you did. Yeah, yeah,
And it's
yeah.
really worked well. So I'm actually
I'm
using that.
glad.
I, in fact, told my pediatrician that you should recommend this to the other kids
That's so
and,
nice.
the
Thank you.
babies. And And so, Malika, please tell our viewers a bit about your journey and the vision behind the brand, the Mom Company, and why you started the brand.
Sure. So, you know, the journey to the mom's course started from my own very personal struggle. Just as you were struggling to solve for your daughter's dry skin, I had a very similar concern with my daughter. And, you know, the more I was looking out for natural, safer options, the more harder they were to find. And that was my learning from it. And, you know, I just moved back from London at that point of time. And it was very surprising for me on how on Facebook groups moms were having conversations around which is a good wash to use, which is a good lotion to use, you know, which I would consider as basics that everybody should have. And then when we spoke to over 1,000 moms actually, and they all came back with concerns of looking out for natural, safer options for their kids. And that sort of started our journey with the Moms Co with a very clear vision and a mission to help moms make natural, safe, and effective choices. And since the idea was so close to my heart because I struggled, like my older daughter had atopic dermatitis, which is extremely dry skin, and I struggled to find a good lotion for her. So I think this was, you know, I sort of could understand the concerns that moms had and the pain that moms had in not being able to find it, and that led to creation of the range of products that we today have at the Moms Co.
And so, do you think it was easy to start a business then in 2012 versus now? What's your take on that
No,
for women?
I don't think it's ever easy to start your business, right? Like it has to be just one solid leap of faith that you have on the idea, and you just go ahead and take that jump in the plunge, saying that I'm going to solve for this, right? You have a concern which you think there are enough and more people that are concerned about and are looking out for solutions for, and if you have that solution, you just go ahead and make the plunge. It'll never be easier. There will never be a right time. There will never be a right
Yeah.
moment. So it has to be whenever you feel you're ready for it, just go make the plunge and just sort of find the answer for it.
Yeah, I agree. I started my other business, which is the PR business, when I was 23 in Bombay. The Women Inspiring Network has taken shape actually during the lockdown because I thought it was time for us to all re strategize and reset ourselves. And we've had
Yeah.
actually a great response because it's an inspiring content platform. And so, how has the lockdown been for you, for your business? Uh, I mean, would you like to throw some light? Because I know that you guys are available online, and I'm constantly ordering stuff, and from you all. So please throw some light on that.
So I think the challenges that we faced were more from a team perspective of how do you manage your team, how do we work together even though we're not physically in front of each other. We were a very close knit team, and then we were just used to having conversations and bouncing off ideas across the table, which was a solve that we had to do in terms of setting up Zoom meetings, Google Meets, chatbots, and all of that within the team to have the conversations. I think from a business perspective, that should we've been very lucky that we've fallen into the category of essentials. And because it was in the category of essentials, the business did not get massively impacted from an output perspective. But yes, there have been challenges in terms of demand and supply, which we are overcoming as and when the days are passing.
Yeah. I mean, we've also used a lot of Zoom and other things, which as I just mentioned, for our Women Inspiring the film series, we were able to amplify our content with other partners, and we had a reach of 15 lakh people at a given point of time. So, we all start thinking in different ways how to,
Correct.
overcome it. And,
How do you
so that's
collaborate
been
and how
good.
do you solve? Yeah.
And what would your piece of advice be to someone who's just going to be starting out? Like, what would you say, someone wants to start their journey on entrepreneurship? What would your advice to them be?
Yeah, I think, it's very important what you're looking out to solve for, right? Like the idea behind your company, or the idea behind why you want to start up doing what you're doing is extremely important, and you have to be really, really passionate about it. Because if you're not, very soon you will lose your path from what you actually wanted to do and go much, much wider and not from the perspective of what do you do, just start. I mean, you will never know, practically when you step into it is when you will actually realize what are the challenges, what are the advantages, what are the pluses, what are the minuses. But unless you do it and make the plunge, you will never know it. So I sort of just jump in, start, of course, have a lot of research done on how will you reach out. I think the most important thing to do is figure out how are you going to reach out to the first 100 consumers. If you have a plan ready for that, I think you're good to get started. But if you don't have a plan for that, then I would suggest you still sort of step back, make that plan, and as and when you have it ready, just take the plunge. Life's going to change, and they're going to keep
And
changing every single day. So yeah.
And yeah, and how does one go about if they're seeking funding? What is it that they need if they're seeking funding for their business? Would you like to throw some light on that?
Yeah, so I think one is the vision that you have for the business extremely important. What are your two, three levers that you're trying to focus on to reach those, the pointer that you're looking at reaching is extremely important, right? What do I do so that I get to my goal? You must have that answer. Third, you should be very confident yourself, right? I think the self-confidence is extremely, extremely important because unless you don't believe in your own idea, you can't get someone else to start believing in yours, right? So it's very, very important that you have the belief and faith in what you're looking to build and the fact that there are enough takers for the solution that you're looking to create.
Yeah. And so tell me, what is the one problem that you see common in Indian babies?
So, in terms of Indian babies, is what I have realized over the last couple of years and also going forward is the fact that, what people don't talk about, what moms are not aware about, is the fact that when we did, and now the same solution that you're talking about in terms of our soothing relief range, dryness of skin is taken very lightly, right? And people just not aware of the fact that you have enough and more kids. To give you the stats, 1 in 5 babies in India have very dry, sensitive, eczema-prone skin, and the solution for that is just a good moisturizer. And lots of people are not even aware of it, right? Like we just start looking out for more solutions, home remedies, other stuff, not realizing the basics of all it needs is a good moisturizer. So I think that as an aspect, I was very surprised to see. And likewise, for me also, right? For the longest time, I struggled to figure out the reason for my daughter's dry skin. And I had no clue it was dry skin.
Yeah.
I could just see her itching her skin, having some red patches on her skin, not knowing what it was. So I think there's a slight lack of information which needs to be disseminated to everybody, and from there they once they know is when you get charged to solve for a problem that is there. So I think largely in terms of dry skin in Indian babies is quite a bit.
Yeah, I can totally relate with that. I remember I was just telling you, I don't think her problem was that drastic, but it has improved so much. And I'm
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of your product, and I can't thank you enough for meeting you that day.
I'm so glad. I'm
And
so
I
glad to help.
and I can see a comment from Priyanka who says, "I love Mom Company being using the serum, shampoo, conditioner, eye cream." And so you have a lot of fans who are
Thank you,
just
Priyanka. Thank you
and
so much.
so, and what is the process like? Are you manufacturing your products here? And since they're cruelty free, toxin free, would you want to throw some light on that?
Yeah, so we have a very exhaustive R&D process, right? Like, because we also cater to a very sensitive segment with pregnancy, new moms, and moms in general. So what we do is we put a lot of effort in terms of our R&D. So the process, how it typically goes, is that we share a brief with our R&D team. We have an in-house R&D team which works on the product brief. The brief gets sort of created from a lot of feedback that we get from our consumers, and once that brief goes is where it gets into the process of identification of ingredients. Once the ingredients are identified, what we do is we verify each of these ingredients 5 global toxicity databases. They are the ones who basically rate the ingredients in terms of safety. So there are no cancer-causing elements. There are no elements that cause long-term effects. Could affect your endocrine disruptors. None of it, right? When it is none of it is when you get a safety score in terms of your products. And once that's verified is when the product goes into the development and a formulation stage, which is when they're all mixed together to create a lotion or to create a wash or to create a face cream, a serum or whatever. And once the whole product gets created, it gets tested for about 3 to 4 months for a process which is called a stability testing. In the stability testing, we check whether the product is going to be safe for a long period of time, whether it can withstand temperature changes, humidity changes, whether the pH of the product remains the same as what it was at the time of being formulated. And after that is when the product goes through all sorts of physical parameter testing and also clinical trials. What we do is all our products are dermatologically tested, and they actually go to a clinical lab where a dermat tests them on human skin types to ensure that there is no allergic reaction that is caused from the product. The baby products also go through extensive testing, which is called a hypoallergenic study, which is a longer study to ensure that even on the most sensitive skin, it doesn't lead to any kind of reactions. So that's the broader aspect of what we do. And then that, of course, with every batch, there is a QC that goes on the batch, everything from packaging to ingredients to final products. So all of it gets tested all the time.
And so, would you like to give us mothers some skincare tips? You know, and how should we deal with dark circles, working women like us?
Yeah. So we actually have a product. I don't know if you've seen it. It's called the Under Eye Cream, which is a natural vita-rich under eye cream. We just did a campaign with it, which was called the Roll Away Dark Circles. So yeah, but I think other than just using a good product, eating well, drinking well, sleeping on time is extremely important. So those are the things that we should definitely look at.
And what is the biggest problem in skincare which you think your brand has solved till now? Is it more on the baby segment or basically all segments, would you say?
So, we've sort of tried to find out some niches that have got created for us in terms of problems that we have solved for. So in the baby category, as I said, we solve for the dry skin, which was a very large concern, as 1 in 5 babies have very dry, sensitive skin. We solve for that with our Soothing Relief range. In the pregnancy segment, we have got a stretch mark cream and a stretch mark oil. That solves for the concern that moms have in and around stretch marks. On the face care range, we have a solution which we created for pigmentation. Like a lot of people have a lot of pigmentation on their skin as they start growing slightly older. So we have an entire range of products very rich in an ingredient called kakadu plum that we actually import from Australia, which is the world's largest botanical source of vitamin C. So it's a vitamin C range that takes care of pigmentation. And for hair, we've got solutions around dry, damaged hair and also hair fall. So I think each category has one hero product that leads the category for us.
And these would also be your best sellers.
They're also our best sellers. Yeah.
Yeah. And I can see Atrey is saying, I've been using Mom Company products since pregnancy and love them. I love the diaper rash cream. I wish you made something for insect bites.
Atrey, I'll take that as a feedback. We don't have anything for insect bites yet, but I'll take it as a feedback and we'll pass it on to the R&D team to start creating something. And I love the diaper rash cream too, it's super effective. So when I was getting the diaper rash cream created, the only strong brief that I had shared with the R&D team was it needs to work. I understand the pain of seeing your child having a rash and how troubled a mom gets with that rash, right? And I was like, if this doesn't work, you guys are like you're in for a hard time, right? Like I can't promise a mom that this is a solution for diaper rash and she uses it and by the next morning it doesn't get fixed. It doesn't work. So yeah, I'm very glad they could actually create that as a product.
And I can see Ishita asking us a question. Have started using your rich under eye cream for dark circles. Is there any particular way to massage it?
So Ishita, the under eye cream actually comes with a roller on top of it. So you can just take the product and you can just roll it a little bit on your eyes in the bottom. And then typically how you always apply an under eye cream is after you've applied it and done a little massage with the roller, just take your fingers and just press this like this, right? All the way going up to down. So it'll also take care of any puffiness if it's got created in your skin.
And how do you personally define success? Is it your independence? Is it money? Is it innovation? Is it happiness? Creative expression?
I think it's customer feedback. It's every time when you go, it's customer feedback. I think it's every time when you go out and when you're having a conversation, there's so many people who send you so much love for the product and the fact that they like the product. It just gives you a sense that you're creating some sort of impact. And that for me is just the strongest driver to keep doing better. And I've actually changed the bar of creating a product over a period of time. And I think I'm getting more and more obsessive about it. And a large part of it is just got to do with the feedback that we get from the customers all the time, right? Like, I mean, it's just brilliant when someone just calls up and says, nothing worked, but yours did, love the product. It's just very, very encouraging.
Yeah. And so tell me, have you had any failures? How should one deal with failures?
So many. So I mean, right? Like I think it's failure is a part of the startup, and you have to accept it, and you have to. I think you have to just be strong enough to not let that overpower you, and you get up at 6 in the morning and just break through with it and say, no, I'm going to get this done. I'll just narrate a little example that I had, and this was quite early on. It was about almost about 2 years back. The company is about 3 years old, and this is almost about 2 years back. And I remember I was trying to formulate our first shampoo. And creating a natural shampoo is really, really hard, right? Because if you don't use sulfates, it's not going to lather as much, but it has to lather a little bit. And then if you sort of increase the lathering, it starts drying up your hair very badly. So there's a very tiny balance that you need to make on it.
Yes.
And I remember I was trying to make it and almost cracked the formulation. And this was at 10:30 in the night, right? It's 10:30 in the night. I was coming back from the plant, and I got a message saying that the formulation was not stable, and we had to restart recreating the product, right? And I was like really, really troubled. I was really, really heartbroken by the whole thing, you know. And I was like, this doesn't work. And I had launch plans sometime very soon. Everything goes for a toss because then you really need to start the process. And while I was on my way back, I remember I got a call from a customer. And this was the time when we didn't have a full-fledged customer care team. So most of the calls eventually, if not picked up by anyone, would come to me or Mohit, right? So this call just came to me and I was driving back. And on my conversation, there was this lady saying, hi, I'm calling you from Delhi and I'm flying tomorrow to Dubai. And my sister-in-law just announced that she was pregnant. And when we said, oh, lovely, what can we do for you? She said she just wants the Mom's Coke products. So is there any way that I can get it because I'm flying out tomorrow morning? And, you know, and she was like, I don't know. I haven't heard about you. I think we were 6 months old in the market at that point of time. And she was like, I don't know, but she's called from Dubai to say, I'm pregnant and this is it that I want. Just get me the box, right? And that just sort of gets you recharged all over again, saying that, yes, maybe there is a minute of failure, but the impact that you're probably having on people is just so nice that sort of let it go. And then you get yourself back, and the next day gives you the courage to go back and fight the battle all over again. So many, yeah. Like I remember I used to go to a plant and people used to keep me waiting for a while saying, Aap dhanda chalaoge? Is there anybody else along with you? You know, so of course there was a lot of struggle initially, but just stay true to what you're looking to do and just be very clear of what you want to do. And I'm sure things will come along and they'll come your way.
Yeah, no, I can totally relate to that. And of course, I know that you're very, very hands-on. So, you know, I haven't tried some of the mother products. So I'm now inclined after our conversation to try some of those products. Of course, baby products, I have switched over to yours. And and tell me, what has been your biggest achievement?
My biggest achievement, I think all achievements for I think, you know, they keep changing. Like if you would ask me in the first year of my journey into the business, what was the biggest achievement, was very different from, you know, originally it was creating that first product. Very hard to create. We did something very different. Like nobody in India was doing toxin-free at that point of time. So creating an all-natural toxin-free solution was the first hubs that we tried. And then, you know, then over a period of time, I think right now what I'm the happiest about is the team that we have built at the Momsco. And it's not just, you know, the Momsco employees or the people who work at the organization, but it's also the whole supply chain, like the suppliers, the distributors, you know, the people who are attached in and around in the whole ecosystem. Yeah. And how the entire ecosystem has sort of moved from doubting the idea to being wedded to the idea, for it being a product that somebody was looking to make, to a product that's in each of their houses, right? Like I've got suppliers, testing labs, all these people who are actually using the product, because they're like, we know how obsessive you are about making the product, and I know I'm going to use it for my child. So I think making that transition of getting everyone to doubt about who trusts skincare to actually trusting skincare was a great achievement, is what I believe we managed to crack.
And one of the questions was, What is an app nighttime routine for glowy, hydrated skin?
So glow highlights, moisturize, moisturize, moisturize. I think the routine is always remember to remove your makeup in the night before you go to sleep. So always clean your skin very well, tone it, which will prep it for a good moisturizer. You could follow it up with a face serum that will go deep inside your skin to hydrate and repair and get it ready, and then use a moisturizer on top. So just a lot of just clean face, moisturized face, well hydrated body. I think those are like the wins for a nice glowing face.
And at what age should women start taking care of their skin? Should it be throughout or more care after a certain age? Like, should it be like 30 plus, 40 plus?
I think you need to start taking care of your skin like very, very early on. Like I do it for even my daughter at this point of time. I make sure she washes her face before she goes to sleep and moisturizer. I think what changes is as you age, your skin needs a lot more nutrients and a lot more active so that it stays younger. As you age, what happens is the skin starts losing its natural ability to create oils and moisture, which means you need external products to sort of top up on that lost moisture that your skin loses every day and your internal body can't create, right? Which is when you start needing it. An ideal age to start topping up with reparative products, if I may call it, is around the age of 28 and above. That's the best time to start. And
Okay.
for simple products like cleaning, keeping your skin moisturized is all the time. Also, I would highly recommend using a sunscreen. It's very important, not just when you step
Yeah.
out, but also while you're at home. I think it's extremely important to have a good sunscreen in your bathroom shelf.
Yes. And what is next for you? Like what do you intend to do in the next few years? Are there any new products coming out, or what is next for you?
So we have a lot of new product ranges coming out. They should launch from next quarter onwards. Yeah, we've been working on it for over a year right now, and that's when we're going to be launching very soon. So lots of exciting offerings along the way. So yeah.
And there's one question from Yogita before we move on to our last question. I got acne on my face. What's the best product I can use as I'm in my first trimester?
Yeah, so I think Yogita, pregnancy acne is a very common concern which happens because of hormonal imbalance in the body. So I think, and I had a lot of them in my first pregnancy as well. So I know exactly what you're talking about. But they come, and by the time you've delivered the baby in about 2-3 months, they go away as well. But if you're seeing excessive oil getting created on your face, which is leading to acne because the oil is getting trapped in your pores, then clay is the best product. Please try out the clay face wash and the clay face mask. It's a great product. It just sucks out the excessive oil from your skin, keeps it nice and clean and glowing.
And the woven ciliate is asking, what would you recommend for pigmentation on skin for a 26-year-old?
So we have a Vita-Rich face care range, which is the Vita-Rich face cream and the face serum. They're both great products, and I recommend you start using them for this. It has vitamin C in it. It has vitamin B3, which is niacinamide, which again helps repair. And we also have arbutin in it, which is a great ingredient for pigmentation. So for pigmentation, strongly recommend the Vita-Rich face serum and the Vita-Rich face cream.
Yeah. And is there a product different because for 50-year-old or the same product can be used? There's another question for a
No, the
pigmentation.
same product can be used. I think it will just take slightly longer for a 50-year-old because along with this product, you would need a lot more products for your moisturization because you need a heavy moisturizer. And because as you grow older, the skin gets drier.
And what recommendation for a normal skin, Priyanka is asking?
Yeah, if you have a normal skin type, it's great because you can use any moisturizer that you like. I would strongly recommend you stay away from because they're really, really good, not just for your skincare, but also for your makeup. Use a water-based light moisturizer, not a very heavy cream, and that should be good for your skin type.
And a winning message to inspire our viewers on entrepreneurship.
I think it's a beautiful journey. It's a journey which has got so many ups and downs, highs and lows. But it is just amazing, right? The fact that once you have your first product created and it steps ahead in the market, and then you get a feeling saying that, oh my God, I created this, right? I think it's just a lovely feeling. So if you're ever thinking of starting up, please jump in and just get started. Like, that's my strongest this thing. And along the way, you will figure out answers for all the questions, all the queries that you have. But it's a great journey to step in, and you must do it. Like, I would do it all over again if you ask me.
But it's been the same for us. I mean, I have been so inspired by everybody's stories, Malika, in the last 3 months with the Women Inspiring Network. So, the other day we had Anuradha Sengupta, who's a consulting editor. She was talking about what it takes for a career in broadcast journalism. And she's a consulting editor with CNN. We had the CEO of Quint. So we've had like tremendous women entrepreneurs. We had Vani Tripathi, who's Censor Board, a board member, and she was talking about a career in films and what does it take. And it's been so inspiring to hear different people's thought that it's kept my team and us really inspired at the Women Inspiring Network, because there's so many stories which India has, especially in our smaller towns and cities, and every day we feel like we are learning so much more when we are hearing other people's story. And it's been a great experience. Like, now we're putting a workshop together for on women entrepreneurship for Jai Hind College in Mumbai, which is taking place.
Wow.
And then we have a session on with a fashion entrepreneur next week from Singapore, Nikasha, who's an Indian designer now who's moved to Singapore. And then, of course, we'll have more women talking about career survivors, mental health series. We're doing a sustainability series with a sustainability activist, and how, you could, it's now all about digital fashion weeks and not so much about, all about 3D modeling. And, so that's something which we are putting together for one of our.
So I think it's a great initiative that you put across today. It's really, really nice.
Yes.
It's very inspiring.
I mean, I have been a part of some of these international forums like Fortune, Most Powerful Women Network, and Dell Women Entrepreneur Network. And I felt that there wasn't anything as such in India. And if entrepreneurs could be connected and network with each other, that itself would give, so much of support. Sometimes it's just about that encouragement and inspiration, and which is what our platform is all about. I mean, I've seen, personally, I have been inspired by people like, who I had the chance to meet a few years back, like Sheryl Sandberg from Facebook, and Ariana Huffington, and Billie Jean King, who's a tennis player, to Indra Nooyi. And, they have so much to offer. And if by way of offering our stories, like you are a successful entrepreneur, and if I feel it changes the life of few people, especially, giving inspiration to women in tier 2, tier 3 smaller towns, that would be so much, that for us is success.
Yes.
And
I think it's a great network also because people know whom to reach out to. And I think I strongly believe women are women's founders' biggest supporters and cheerleaders, right? And we like constantly backing the new age people who want to do something in life. So I think it's a great network where people can connect and speak to each other, and also learn from other people's experiences.
It's all about learning. I mean, today when I'm hearing you talk, I feel I'm learning so much more. But thank you so much, Malika.
Thank you for having me.
And I hope everybody can follow us on the Women Inspiring Network. And thank you, everybody, and have a great weekend. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Have a great weekend. Bye-bye. Thanks, Sudhi, for having me. Bye.